Guys, I got 7 things that motorcycle dealerships are not telling you, but you need to know. I've been seeing these mistakes all over the place, and you gotta stop them. Don't worry, I'm here. We'll do this together. Take my hand. Take my hand. Let's do this, come on. This first one drives me nuts. Stop financing your gear. Do not finance gear. Let me make that clear. Do not finance your gear. You can finance your motorcycle. That's fine. We'll talk about that later. Best ways to do that. Do not finance modifications on your bike. Don't finance gear with your bike. It is a scam. It's a bad idea. The last thing you want is to be in a situation where you're paying in 3 years down the road, 4 years down the road, you're still paying off that helmet that you bought for your ex-girlfriend now, and it's gone. You know what I mean? It's a bad idea. It's a trap. You're gonna pay quadruple prices on this stuff. Don't finance your gear. Please don't finance your gear. The next one is trading in your motorcycle. Now listen, I'm not saying don't trade in your motorcycle. What I'm saying is you need to know why you're trading in the motorcycle and how the whole system works so that you can properly play the game and so you're not getting ripped off. I want to make sure that you guys have the knowledge that everyone else has so that it's an even playing field. Now before I start, let me explain to you the different price evaluations that we as dealerships look at. This is going to give you a better idea of what's going on. Dealership retail is the highest. You'll never pay more than dealership retail generally. Next one above that is private sale. Below that one is auction price. That's when a dealer only like me can go to an auction and buy vehicles to retail them. Below that is trade-in price. Trade-in price is the cheapest amount of money that you will ever get for your vehicle, trading it in really quick. And the reason people will do it is for a couple reasons. One, it's convenient. It's really, really convenient. Sometimes you don't want to deal with people. You don't want to put it on Facebook Marketplace. You don't put it on Cycle Trader. You don't put it on any. You don't want to put it anywhere because people are the worst, and it's super obnoxious dealing with all these people and getting phone calls and no one showing up. So for a lot of people, it just makes sense. I'm just gonna trade it in right now. They do it because of the convenience and it's easy and their time is very, very valuable. The other reason people do it is impulse. They're just, I got a bike. That's a good looking bike. You telling me I can have that bike right now? Let's do it. Don't be making impulse decisions. It's just not a good idea, especially if you have good credit or the money to do it. You gotta think about these things for a little bit. The third one, and this kind of comes up with some other things, but the third one is the worst one. And the reason people are trading in their bikes is because they have negative equity in their bikes. They owe $10,000 on it because they finance it and they shouldn't have. It's worth $7,000. And for them to sell it to someone else, they have to come up with $3,000 to sell it. So they're taking a bad situation and they're making it worse by trading a bike in. They trade their bike in, they can roll that difference over into the other bike, which is just the worst possible thing you could ever do. If you keep on going down that route, you're gonna end up with a bike that's worth $3,000 with debt on that bike of like $20,000. It's a real way to just keep yourself poor forever. Please don't do it. And that's what you need to know about trade-in. So the more information you have, the better you're gonna be. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying know the reasons why you're doing it. Number 3, do not let yourself get upsold. This makes me so frustrated that actually on my other channel, Bikes and Beards, I started going undercover to catch dealerships who were doing this because it's wrong. It's just the absolute most wrong thing you could possibly do because a high-level motorcycle is extremely dangerous, and some salespeople will say, oh, this might be a good bike for you, but if I sold them this bike, I make more commission. And it's dangerous. I've seen too many people get hurt, too many people get killed riding the bike that they should not be riding because their skill level is not there, and all for the sake of for the salesman to make a couple extra bucks. I hate it. Don't walk into a dealership and let the salesman be the expert on everything. Bring a friend, do some research, use the Srkcycles channel to do some research on stuff, watch other channels on YouTube, whatever, and know, hey, if this is the bike you want to get. Now, if he wants to explain to you that this bike is too much for you, that's a different thing. Bring a friend, but don't let yourself get upsold. Make sure you have as much information as he has, and if he tells you something, go back and think about it. Go back and talk about it. Go jump it on forums. Go throw it up on a Facebook group and say, hey, is this a good idea? I'm a first rider. This is a good bike for me to buy. Should I buy a Hayabusa as my first bike as a 16-year-old? And see what other people say, and then put it all in your mind, and then make a rational decision. The fourth one is motorcycle warranties, and in general, I'm generally not a fan. I am a fan of factory warranties and extended factory warranties because they're generally pretty cheap and they're great. Anything breaks on it, send it back to the dealership, they're gonna fix it. But when it comes to aftermarket warranties, there's a lot of shysters out there. Let me explain to you what their game is. But first, there's a couple schools of thought when it comes to warranties. One is the school of thought that I'm generally in, and that is my warranty is never paying for warranty. I choose to buy all my vehicles with cash because I wait longer to buy them. I postpone my pleasure of buying that vehicle by waiting longer, which I think is the best way to do it. And then my warranty is I never pay warranty, so I have a little extra cushion or a little extra money in the bank in case something breaks down. And if it breaks down, I'm not gonna freak out. It's not that big of a deal. The other school of thought is I like having a warranty, that I get that peace of mind that if something breaks, someone else is gonna fix it. Those are the two schools. Depending on which one you fall into, that's fine. But in my experience with a lot of aftermarket warranty companies, there's a lot of fine print that you don't know about. And sometimes even the dealership selling it does not know about. Where stuff like, it'll say all these things are covered, and then you go back to them and you're like, okay, this part of my bike broke, it's on that list, and then they'll be like, well, it's actually not part of that list. It almost feels like their job is to make sure that you actually don't get any money for these warranties. And sometimes they're really hard to fight with, and it's kind of a pain. Also, a lot of these warranty companies have caps. You pay $2,000 on a warranty, and then you actually need to use a warranty, and they find something that's actually coverable on the warranty, go over, and normally the cap is around the price that you paid for it. So if you go over $2,000, the warranty's done. What's the point of having the warranty if you could have kept that money yourself? So that's a win-win for them and a lose-lose for you. So that's a win-win for them and kind of a crummy situation for you. You would have been better off keeping that money in your pocket. Now, we've dealt with some warranty companies like this, and we don't work with them anymore, but I've seen this stuff happen, and it drives me nuts. When it happens at our dealership and we get found out about it, we just fork out our money and make sure the customer gets paid. Most dealerships are not going to do that. However, there is a warranty company that I do like, and I like this because they understand their customer. And one of the cool things about them is if you bought a bike privately, normally you couldn't buy a warranty for it. With them, if you buy a bike privately, or if you just currently own your bike and you want to put a warranty on it now, maybe you have some big trips ahead of you, you can jump on their website, take a picture of your odometer, give them your VIN number, give them some information, and you can buy a warranty right there to cover your motorcycle. And Discount ESP's prices are really cheap because they're bypassing the middleman, which generally a dealership that's selling an aftermarket warranty, half of that money goes to the dealership for selling the warranty. So if it was a $2,000 warranty, $1,000 goes to the warranty company, and $1,000 goes to the dealership selling it. But with Discount ESP, there is no dealership selling it, so you bypass the middleman, which saves you, the customer, a lot of money. Also, the cap on how much they're gonna spend on your motorcycle is original MSRP, and individually, how much they're gonna spend on your bike per warranty claim is current book value of your bike at that moment. So, if your bike is worth $5,000 and you have a claim for $6,000, what they're gonna do is they're gonna write you a check for $5,000, hand it to you, and buy your bike from you. But you still get to keep the bike. That's a win-win. And then you gotta figure it out. So if you have a $4,000 bike that has a $20,000 damage, they're not gonna give you $20,000, they're just gonna pay you the value of your bike, which is honestly the greatest deal I've ever heard in my entire life. You keep the bike you already have, and then you can spend that money to go buy another bike because they paid you market value for your bike. If you guys are interested in checking out Discount ESP, there's a website right here, or click on the link below. They're actually really cool guys, and it's a really, really easy process. I've done it myself. Another thing, when you're checking out the bike that you're buying at a dealership, don't just check out the bike, check out the actual dealership. Look at their reviews, see if they got reviews. Obviously, they're gonna have tons of good reviews because everyone can have tons of good reviews, but look at the bad reviews. If you look at Srkcycles, it's a pretty good example of this. We don't have any bad reviews from people who actually bought bikes from us, except for one, and the guy gave us a 3-star review, and his complaint was, Caleb was eating a sandwich while he was showing me the bike. But most of these guys are just kind of disgruntled people who we didn't have the bike or whatever. We couldn't get them the bike that they wanted, but they never actually bought from us because we will make sure that someone who buys from us is happy no matter what. Bike sitting right there, that Hayabusa right there that we bought back from a customer, and we got a bike back there, Harley Davidson in pieces that we still got to fix, but whatever, the customer was happy. Number 5 is motorcycle financing, is what we referenced before. Let me explain this to you so you guys know the best way to get the best motorcycle financing. And since you pay for convenience, if you walk into a dealership and they give you financing right there, bam, someone's getting paid because it was so freaking easy. This is how it works. You're coming to me, I'm sitting down, I'm a dealership, I'm telling you, it's not how we do it, but it's how most dealerships work. You're coming to me, I'm the manager, and you say, hey, I want to buy this bike. And I'm like, okay, cool. And let me get your information, and let me call the bank. Bank calls me, the bank tells me, he's like, hey, I got him approved at 4% interest rate. I'm like, awesome. Hey, we got you approved at 6% interest rate, or 7% interest rate, or 5%, or 4.5%, or whatever. The difference in percentage points, I keep. The bank pays me for those differences. That's called back end. That's how a lot of dealerships make their money. They have front end. That's the sale of the bike minus what they paid for it. That's front end. Back end is financing, insurance, and warranties, which is fine. If that's the way you want to do it, that's how car works, that's how every type of sale and financing works. I just want you to know that that's how it goes. If you want to do it, that's cool. Here's another option. One, the best possible option, save up for cash. If you had enough money that over the next 2 years you're going to pay this bike off with interest, then you could just, in theory, wait 2 years and buy the bike with cash later. And since you're not paying interest, you don't have to wait as long as 2 years because you're saving up money. And you can get some side jobs and you can, earn more to get to that goal that you're trying to get. The other thing is you could go to your local bank or credit union and they're going to give you a better deal. It's possible your local bank or credit union is the company that's giving the other dealership the loan. Go to them with the bike information and say, hey, I'm looking to buy this bike and give me a loan. They're going to give you a loan. They're going to cut you a check. And that'll be by far the best interest rate from a credit union that you could possibly get, but it might take a day or two for them to cut you the check, or it might take a day or two for the underwriters to get you your information. So you got to be a little bit patient. Not a big deal. It's going to save you a lot of money in the long run. I'm speaking this mainly to the ladies, but guys, you need to man up. I cannot stress this enough. You have no idea how many times I've seen this. Girlfriends, do not finance your boyfriend's Harley Davidson. Just don't do it. It's a bad idea. I don't care how much he says he loves you. He doesn't. He loves that Harley Davidson more. Guys, man up. Stop convincing your girlfriend to finance a Harley Davidson for you, or any motorcycle. Everyone just stop, please. Just stop doing it. It's embarrassing us. The next one is something the talk is bigger than actually what it is. And it's the concern of buying a salvage title bike at a dealership. Chances are it's never, ever going to happen. Although the way you would know is it would say salvage title or salvage title or rebuilt title. Now, I've got some videos where I explain that whole process. If you're actually buying it, if it's street legal, it'll be a R title, a rebuilt title, which in that case, the bike is safe to ride on the road, but it should be worth significantly less, normally around half the price of a normal clean title bike because of that stain on the title. But dealerships don't, it's very, very, very rare that a dealership would sell that. And if you get to the end of the deal and you find out that a dealership sold you a R title bike and that you didn't know about it, you just make a fuss about it because that's a big deal, and that could really destroy that dealership's reputation. We sold 3 salvage title bikes out of a couple thousand bikes that we've ever sold, and when we list them and when we sell them, it's so obvious that it's a salvage title, R title, R title. We make. If you can't realize that it's an R title bike when we sell it to you, you got something wrong with you, and you probably shouldn't be buying a motorcycle at all. But it's kind of it's one of those things that people are like, oh, don't make sure it's not this, but it's not really an issue, but just kind of keep your eyes out. And the last thing, something that no other dealership will ever tell you. I don't care where you buy a bike from. I really don't care. You buy it from us, that's fine. Buy from your local place, buy from your neighbor. I don't care where you buy a bike from. Just get a good deal, get a good bike, and get on the road and have a lot of fun. Guys, that wraps it up. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope this helps you guys out.